Leeds, Leeds.
Love you, Leeds, that we do. The day after the night before, or the day after the day before. Something a little bit different. Hello, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. I'm Matty, and I had a meltdown yesterday. As people will have seen on my review show. Last night, great paddle. My late night Leeds co-host, Alan and Sean, my best pal Priestley and good friend Callum, all there dissecting the game yesterday. A bit of therapy. I don't know if I felt any better for doing it. But yeah, bit of a weird day today. One of the twins is poorly, so he's off school. He's in bed at the minute. Well, upstairs on his computer in his bedroom. So I'm probably going to get a couple of videos out today while I'm off. It's something I enjoy doing. So while I've got time, I'm going to pump a couple of videos out today. This one being the first, obviously, just a quick little pre-record to touch on the mentality of Leeds United and where they need to go from now. You know, I'm big on mentality in life, overcoming obstacles. I've done it myself. In sport, adversity. Which way do you go when you hit it? Do you shrink? Do you crumble under pressure? We've seen that before. Touching it last night. Last year we've seen it multiple times as Leeds fans. These are the mental scars we have. That Leeds tag that never goes away. Leeds are falling apart now, which is an anthem nationwide for every side playing against Leeds. We've only got to concede a chance half at time, and it's Leeds are falling apart. So it's a tag that we've got, and fair to be fair. You know, it's a fair tag. We have fallen apart numerous times. Other sides fall apart too, but they're not as big as Leeds United, so tend not to get shouted about. So you know, it's a tag that I don't mind because it means we're a top side. It means everybody's thinking and talking about Leeds United. We are the biggest club in this division. We are a top 6, top 8 side in terms of stature, you know, in the country. We are huge, and I think the fact that every single stadium, every single other fan base enjoys singing this song, enjoys when Leeds are struggling, it goes to show that I'm not talking shite on that one. Problem is, when you're at the top, you're there to be shot at, and that's where we are at the minute, and it's tighter than we all imagined. We've gone through, I say, spells this season of looking like we're going to break away and then being sucked right back into it. It's happened again now, you know, 5 points clear at one point, you know, it's 7 or 8 points buffer on Burnley. Now all of a sudden we joint points with Sheffield United and only 2 points clear of Burnley. And there's every chance come by the time we kick that football off against Millwall on Wednesday night at Ellen Road, we're third. At the very least, I expect to see a second, which is just crazy. And the worry is if we don't do well against Millwall, if we drop points, it might not be in our hands anymore with only 9 games to go. And you're talking about a side in Burnley who haven't lost in 24 games, I think it is, since October. And are now scoring goals and now look better than they have all season. If Burnley now carry on the trajectory of scoring a couple of goals minimum each game, they're going to win every game because they ain't going to concede 2 goals. It were all right when they could only score a goal at best. The likelihood of, although, you know, they weren't going to go on massive winning runs. You know, that unbeaten run is hampered with a lot of draws. It really is. But if they're going to start scoring a couple of goals plus a game, they're not going to lose, are they? Because the defence is just rock solid. So that's a massive worry. Sheffield United, it's always got that bite, being a Yorkshire rival. They're a worry because they're just not going away. And as much as Chris Wilder likes to say it, and it annoys people, because truth of the matter is you haven't got those 2 points. But you look at the season, it's been a brilliant season by Leeds United. But technically, whether we want to worry about it or not, Sheffield United have won more points on the pitch than Leeds United have over those 36 games, which is wild to me. Wild, because we've been so good. We've been so good. If somebody would have told us at the start of the season, bearing in mind, nobody could foresee another 3 or 4 horse race like it's been most this season with a points total that it looks like it's going to be aiming at. 3 teams, I reckon, 100% are in 90s. We got told that were an outlier last season. Somebody would have said at the beginning of the season, we'd have been on a 17-match unbeaten run. We'd be currently on the points we're on. And we'd only be just joint and only a couple of points clear of third. We'd have said it's a madness. A madness. We would have thought if you emulate what we did last season, we'd be way above everybody, above the rest. And that's just not proven to be the case. It's not proven to be the case at all. And it's a worry, I can't lie. I've had moments, you know, I speak to Joe Wayman quite regular, and I've had moments where I'm chest pumping. We're going to run away with it. I know Joe's always been very much, we'll win it by 10 points. And I've gone through them spells where I believe that too. And then we had a bit of a slump. We're away from early in the season. And I backtrack and I'm like, I'm not too sure. And I'm back there again now. I'm back there and I don't like it. I like to back my side. It's a bit of banter sometimes for rival sides when I say we're going to pump someone 3, 4, and 5. But I know at this level, that's what we can do if we turn up. And I've got a bit of stick for saying Portsmouth didn't play well. They played well for Portsmouth, but we were off it. If Leeds would have performed to their level, we would have pumped them. And I know that's credit to Portsmouth for the way they played. High intensity, didn't give us a moment on the ball, fair enough, but Leeds usually overcome that. So it brings me to the main point, mentality. Leeds need to become mentality monsters to win this division, to get promoted this season. The quality's there, not in doubt. There's question marks asked about certain personnel. Aronson, massive question mark. Meslier, has been even bigger questions on Meslier this season than Aronson. And Aronson's had a lot of stick too. You've got the odd outlier for the odd game. Solomon's had a couple of rough games. Gruev's had a couple of rough games. Bogle had a poor game yesterday. There's not much to read into that. He's been best right back in this division this season. Gruev's an easy one. He's a good player for me. Side to side, he slows it down, but he keeps it ticking over. He's a vital part of our squad. Some people would agree with that. Some people would say, yes, squad, you're right, Matty, but not first team 11 starter. I think away from home, it's what Farker likes. We all agree on that. We all know what Rothwell can do. But I also believe it's good having Rothwell on bench as an option. And Gruev is good enough. He's good enough to play in midfield for Leeds United at this level and win a game. He played at Watford, won 4-0, and he was outstanding. It's only been the last 2 or 3 games he's slightly been off it. But before that, he was outstanding. At the start of the season, before he got injured, he was outstanding. So I don't see many problems there, to be fair. And we know come Wednesday, Rothwell will be starting. And hopefully he does what Rothwell does. And there's an argument to say Rothwell should start every game from now to the end of the season if Ampadu out. And that's fine. And I ain't going to disagree with you. I love Rothwell too. I think he's a great player. Set piece and everything. He gives us a lot more than what Gruev does. He does. And I don't think we need 2 sitters, 2 holders, really. I know Tanaka gets a little bit more forward than Gruev. But for me, let Tanaka do that work and let Rothwell push up, yeah. But I don't like the narrative that Gruev's an awful player, because for me, he's not an awful player. He's a very tidy player. Keeps things ticking over. He's just had a couple of bad performances. Aronson and Meslier have had sustained periods of poor performances. So I understand the clamour to, get them out more than you Gruev's. Obviously, Mellier's not going anywhere. Aronson's the only sort of piece I would look at and go, that probably does need changing. But what I will say, 36 games in, he ain't going to change it. He hasn't changed it yet. He ain't going to change it with the amount of games to go left. So it's something we all have to just accept. He's coming off now, which is a bonus. He was playing 90 minutes every single game for months and months, wasn't he? So he is looking leggy. We do know with Brendan Aronson, when you look at the full season he had with us prior, he fell off a cliff after Christmas. I don't think it's been quite as drastic, but it feels a little bit like that 1 goal in 11 or 1 goal in 12. He's still offering plenty of work off the ball. But I don't really think that's an issue. I think we've won enough points with Brendan Aronson in there. I don't think that's the reason why we're suffering. I think I look at the last 2 games now, and it comes down to, is the mentality right? I don't want to harp on about too much about previous years and last year, because there is different players in there. The manager's grown. Everyone's grown a year. I always believe that you suffer your first year or 2 as a decent side. And you make that next step when you know how to deal with it, when you know how to lick those wounds, when you know how to heal those scars. And it was a massive scar to heal, losing at Wembley. The worst. It's the best way to go up, but it's the worst way to not obviously lose out as well. So I went there and it was awful. It takes a while to get over that. The players will have felt it more than anyone. And you hope that stands them in good stead for this season. So when you look at the last 10 games, do Leeds have the cojones? Do they have the bollocks to push through and get up? And I'm going to say yes. But right now, it is the main talking point for me, because we look shell-shocked yesterday at times. They looked way off it. You've got 2 things with mentality. Are they going to shrink under pressure? Because pressure's massive. Massive now. And then also you've got the complacency as well. So can they deal with the pressure? And do they think they're better than not what they are, but do they believe their own hype a little bit? Do they think their shit don't stink? Because I tell you it does. And it stinks a heap this Monday morning after that yesterday. So that's where Leeds have really got to focus. We've got some really, really easy winnable games on paper. We don't play anyone in top 7, top 8. They're all lower, mid to low half sides. Played 17th yesterday and we still got beat. This time of year when people are trying to survive, people try to get in playoffs, you know, who are mid-table, it's so hard to call who's going to win what game. But what I do know, if Leeds turn up with the right mentality, the quality will win Leeds the game. So that's why it all comes out of this now for Leeds United for me. It's all about the mentality. We can talk about Aronson, we can talk about Melia, we can talk about Gruev, we can talk about all these players. And I'll do that tonight in my ratings video. And we'll hone in on the performances of the players and I'll give them a rating tonight. But those players have been in most of the season, if not all the season. And look where we are. It hasn't affected us to the point where we sat 5th, sat 6th, we're struggling, we don't like we're going to go up. We've done enough. There's been times this season where every single one of them players have done something worth worth starting, worth their role in the squad. Yeah, they're struggling a bit at the minute. Mateo Joseph's another one. Not having the impact off the bench like some of the other subs do have and have over the season. But mentality-wise, they need to rid these hoodoos of London, because we've got a few of them coming up. They need to have the mental toughness to come over whatever the hell goes on with these 12:30 kickoffs, because we've got 3 of them in his next 5 away games. These hoodoos need to be the door needs to be blasted off the hinges of these hoodoos. Farker's set a lot of records these last 2 years at Leeds. A lot of records has done. You know, this side at this level has done phenomenal. Yet Wednesday we could be 3rd. Tuesday night we could be 3rd. That's worrying. That is worrying. And if we don't win, it's out of our hands. If them 2 pick up points and we don't win at home on Wednesday, it's out of our hands with 9 games to go. It's a scary thought. So, like I say, the personnel, the quality. We can argue till we blue in face on who should play here, who should play where. But I do think 90% of that 11 picks itself. There's only a couple of positions we can argue about. Maybe Gruev Aronson. That's probably it. But it's mentality for me. If Leeds don't go up, they've bottled it. If Leeds do go up, they've shown they know how to cope with this situation, because we're right there at it again. We were chasing all last year. Then we got to the top of mountain and we crumbled. And we're in that same phase of the season again. And this has to be the season we go up. The pressure is actually enormous. It's been quite, for me as a fan, and I don't think it's too crazy to say, I think it's been quite a relaxed season. There hasn't been too many moments where we've overreacted. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you're holding on a certain game, take a game in isolation, we may overreact at a performance. Why haven't we won this? Why haven't we won that? But on the whole, I've been to Welling Road. It's been quite relaxed. There hasn't been too much. It's only really happened this last 3 or 4 games because we're coming to a crunch at season. We haven't been at our silky best for the last 4 games, really. Overcome, Sheffield United and Sunderland with last-minute winners. You don't even care about the performance. It's just euphoric. And they're the games I remember come end of the season. So I do believe you've got to play a little bit turgid sometimes if you want that emotion at the end of a game. Because if you just pump them 3 or 4-0, you don't feel nowhere near as much as you'd want every game. You don't feel nowhere near as good as scoring at 95th minute to win a game. It don't, no matter what anyone tells you. A couple of times a season, that's nice. Not every week. But yeah, the mentality of the boys needs to improve. They can't rely on the quality alone. They've got to come into every game like it's a final, because every single team we play, every single fan base that comes to Welling Road, every single stadium that welcomes us to their place, it's their cup final. And our quality may get us over the line. But if we're not up for the fight, the quality might as well not even be there. And in the Championship, physicality, people who want to kick you in air, you're going to get shit decisions from referees. Should have had a penalty yesterday. We go 1-0 up in 10 minutes. We win that game. I don't care what any Portsmouth fan says. If we score the penalty there, we win that game. Margins can define games, definitely can define seasons. We need the mentality to overcome situations like that. Because we ain't going to have it all our own way. We aren't. Well, Leeds United, when's any path we choose smooth? It's just not. We need to stick together as a fan base, but we are also allowed to criticise a poor performance, which is what I did last night. I'm still not over it now. I'm still annoyed. Luckily, as a fan, we've got another game in 2 days' time. I tell you what, you all know I'm nervous about Millwall. I am shitting a brick about Millwall now. Because that is a must. They're all must wins, but my God, that's a must win on Wednesday. Have we got the steel to overcome a side that's beat us twice this season? I'm going on about mentality in this video. The mentality of Millwall, the psychological edge Millwall will have on Wednesday will be massive. They beat us twice. They beat us with a first 11. They beat us with a mixture of sub players, and it wasn't a full strength side in the FA Cup for Millwall. It wasn't for us either. Have we got the mentality to come over that? You'll see a lot on Wednesday. That mental toughness, and without Ampadu, that's my concern with that mental side of stuff. The captain, the linchpin, the guy that is number one on the team sheet, Fofaka, whether he is for you guys or not. If we have to do without him till end of season, can they do it? I think they can. I hope they can. Have the boys got enough without the captain, without the leader, without that guy in the middle of the park who goes in wholeheartedly, who plays every game like it's a final? Physicality. He's beaten, don't get me wrong, against Sunderland at the centre half. He got bullied by Isidore, but in the centre of the park, he's usually the bully. He does give it all. He leaves it all on the pitch as Ampadu. Regardless if you like him or not, he slows it down. He ain't this, he ain't that. Ampadu leaves it all on the pitch. And he's a massive loss for us now. And the away form, we saw it last year. We've seen it this year. The away form suffers when Ampadu's not on the side. So, yeah, that's this video. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. Let me know what you're worried about, if you are worried. Let me know if you think we'll win on Wednesday too, because Wednesday is massive. But yeah, I've got a couple more videos coming out today too. One tonight, 10 o'clock. Imagine Not Being Leeds. Come and get stuck in on that video. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to put a poll in stream for every single player as I'm talking about my ratings, and I'm going to see how my ratings match up to you guys. It's going to be a poor one. It's going to be a negative one. There weren't many players come out there with any credit, but we'll dissect it and get into it anyway. But yeah, and I'll be back in a few hours with something else as well. So take care. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We've still got this, I think. Cheers.